Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 3 of Fundamentals of College Writing. I'm going to go over what we're going to be doing this week in class. So let's go to our classroom, and then weekly assignments, and then week 3. At the top here, you'll see the agenda for the week. You're going to be watching a couple of videos that you'll find below. You're going to be completing a summary response assignment based on those two videos. That is due Wednesday by 11:59. You're going to be doing a practice analysis, which is due Friday by 11:59. You're also doing a bit of a practice analysis in Composition 1, but analysis is decently complicated, and if it's not something you've done before or you're not really familiar with the concept, it can be very tricky to do. So I thought it would be beneficial if we really double down on this concept. In Comp 1, you're going to be reading a chapter about analyzing texts. You'll be doing some practice there, and we'll be doing some more practice in fundamentals. Now, the activity I have for you in fundamentals is a little bit complicated. You may find it more challenging than other things that we've done. So in this video, I'm going to take some time to walk through that in detail. You have an assignment called Understanding Writing Project 2. And the point of this is just to make sure that you understand Writing Project 2. So I have some questions that will guide you through the project, get you to focus your attention on key aspects of the assignment. So hopefully you'll walk away from that assignment with a better idea of how to move forward with Writing Project 2. And that is due Sunday by 11:59. And then finally, you need to reply to at least one peer's post in this week's discussion board that is due Sunday by 11:59 as well. So if we scroll down a little bit, you will see the two videos that you need to watch. One is about a concept called grit, and the other one is a video in which John Legend talks about achieving success through effort. This is the assignment that goes along with those videos. Pretty straightforward assignment here. You just need to write a 3 to 6 sentence summary of the videos for each video, and a 6 to 10 sentence response to each video. Now, how you choose to respond to the video is up to you. And actually, if I remember, I will go in and add some more specific details here to this assignment. But the response is up to you. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What did it make you think of? Can you connect it to anything going on in your life? Anything related to current events? How you respond is totally up to you. Right here, we have the analyzing the practice analysis that we're going to be doing. I'm going to come back to this because there's a lot here to talk about. But this is due. The initial part of the assignment is due Friday. Replying to one of your peers is due Sunday. And then finally, we have this assignment that is also due Sunday by 11:59. This is the assignment where you're going to take a second look at Writing Project 2 and make sure that you understand what it's asking you to do. But for now, let's take a look at this. And now remember, I know it can be weird to go to a page and just see nothing on it, but just remember, if you click Create Thread, you'll see what you need to do. So this is a practice analysis. I definitely make sure that you read the chapter on analyzing text before attempting to do this. What you're going to be doing, I have two images here for you, and you're going to pick one to analyze. This one is called Rage the Flower Thrower. This is a mural done by the artist Banksy. It's in Palestine, I think specifically in Bethlehem. That's what I have written here. And it's an image of a protester. Instead of throwing like a brick or like a Molotov cocktail, the protester is throwing a bouquet of flowers. So that's one image you can analyze. The other image you can analyze is the cover for Kendrick Lamar's album To Pimp a Butterfly. Both are very interesting, evocative images. You can choose whichever one you want to analyze. Here, I have 3 steps that will walk you through what it's like to do an analysis. Now, these are different steps than what I'm asking you to do in composition one. And the reason for that, I want to give you a couple of different ways of approaching analysis. But I think that this will be a good way for you to think about it. First, you're going to be identifying important details in your image. Next, you'll be describing what those details are doing. And then last, you'll be reaching a conclusion. Now, let me say a little bit more about items 2 and 3. I think item 1 is fairly self-explanatory. Well, let me just talk about it anyways. So, important details in the image. Well, let's take a look here. Let's go to Kendrick Lamar's album cover. Okay, so for this, you just need to pick 3 details that you think are important to understanding this image. So you could talk about the fact that this looks like the White House in the background. I'm not sure if it is, but I think that it is. So that's a detail you could talk about. If you think it's important that there are bushes on either side of this group of men, you could talk about that. A lot of them are holding money. I think that's a detail that stands out to me. So you could talk about that. Looks like most of them are shirtless. So that's also an interesting detail. Looks like we have at least this guy. A couple people are holding what I assume are bottles of alcohol. That's another detail. We have people wearing jewelry. So the first part of this activity is to just pick 3 important details and describe those details. All right, now let's take a look at the second step. This one could be a little bit confusing. Once you've identified your details, you need to describe what those details are doing. Or you can think of it in different ways. What are the details doing? What are the details showing you? What are the details saying? So in the Kendrick Lamar picture, we have a bunch of black men in front of the White House, and they seem to be celebrating. So those are all the literal details. They're literally in front of a white government building. But what is that detail telling you? What is that detail doing? And why this can be tricky is it forces you to think on a couple of different levels. You not only need to see and understand what is literally happening, what is actually in the image, but you also sort of have to ask yourself, what effect are those details having on the viewer? And good examples might be, if you see those ads for animal shelters with the sad music and dogs that look really sad. The literal details there, you have a dog, it's in a cage, there's music playing, but then what are those details doing? Well, a picture of this dog, that's missing a leg or whatever, that's having an emotional effect on you. So that's what those details are doing. And it can get a lot more complicated than that. That's a very simple example. But as you analyze one of these 2 images, you need to ask yourself, what are these details trying to show me? Hopefully that makes sense. If I need to explain that in a different way, just shoot me an email. I'll try my best. I have a description here that I think is decent, and hopefully me explaining it out loud makes a little bit of sense. Finally, you're going to need to reach a conclusion. So this is all a process. First, you identify the details. Then you ask yourself, what are those details doing? And then you piece it all together to reach a conclusion. That's what it's like to analyze something. When you analyze something, you break it down into its parts. You figure out what those parts are doing. You figure out how those parts are interacting with each other. And then you make a conclusion about those things. So here, you're talking about 3 details. And you can kind of think of it as an equation. Detail 1 plus detail 2 plus detail 3. What are all 3 of those details doing to present some sort of message? or to convey a particular theme. Those are all ways that you can think about it. And this is and as complicated as this may sound, this is actually a simplified version of what you'll be doing in writing project 2. Because in writing project 2, you'll be looking at multiple images and you'll also be using a documentary to help you better understand what those images are doing. So hopefully that explanation tracks with you all. Again, just let me know if I can explain it for you in a different way. And as part of the assignment, you need to reply to a peer by 11:59. I have very specific instructions for how to reply to your peers here. Sometimes I leave that kind of up to you, how you want to reply. Here I have pretty specific things that I need you to do in order to get credit for this assignment. All right, I think that pretty well covers what we are doing in week 3 for this class. I hope you have a good week.